Hello. Am I live? Let's check this. Oh, yep, I think I am. Cool. Few seconds. Let me just tweet the stream link. Cool. All right. Yeah, so let's get started. So I'm going to be working on a new personal project, which is part of my little Flexin Those Keyframes series. So just another little cool social media kind of animation. And I guess I will talk about some of the process. Because I've already got some like style frames going and I've got a pretty good idea for what I want to do. So I'm just going to talk about some of this stuff down here. So this is an app on my iPad called Good Notes, and I just use it to like sketch stuff out and get a reference and yeah, take notes, all that jazz. So I was just like, I knew I wanted to like create another little social animation, so just sketching out some ideas, finding some reference, and you can see this is like one of the first things I drew. I wanted to like go from like this to this like cool rotation and like zoom in sort of thing, and that has kept with me all the way through. That idea is stuck. And then, yeah, just sketching out some more ideas. Like you can see like this little like sketch here with the ball and like some like trails folding over. That's like an idea that's stuck as well. But yeah, I just like, for like the process, I just try and like sketch out as much stuff as I can and then kind of like refine it down. So then this next page, I'm like starting to think about how some of this stuff can move. So like the ball bounce around in this square with the trails. And this, I did like start working on this, but I kind of like scrapped it and it turned into another different animation. So, and yeah, on to the next page. Again, thinking about how it can like start. So we have the square and circle bouncing in and then forming in the center here, and then the ball kind of like bounced around in the square. So starting to refine the ideas and all that jazz. I thought about like maybe doing some stuff in Cinema 4D and like going from this scene and like changing the perspective to having like some rectangles spinning around. Yeah, and then I sort of got more into actually storyboarding it. And this is pretty much as far as I went for the process. But yeah, I'm pretty like happy with this, and I'm gonna have a go at animating it. So yeah. But before I jump into After Effects, I'm gonna try and design some of these frames. So I know what it's going to look like, and then I can just like use Overlord and import them into After Effects. And a little bit more about the process. Got some like reference up here. Yeah, I want to try use like textures a lot in this, so you know, got some ideas for how I can use some textures and some other stuff. And also like, this is me playing around with colors, trying to figure out a color palette, and then I landed on this color palette here. So yeah, And then yeah, I got designed these two frames here, and then I brought them into After Effects, and I just used After Effects to like do all the texture work, and kind of like did this like kind of like rough effect with turbulent displace. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to try to do is design some more frames and then do the same as I've done here and bring them into After Effects and figure out what textures I want to use and what it's going to look like. And then I will start animating. So I don't know how far I'm going to get today, but just see how it goes. So yeah. So what do I want to design next? I got this part kind of design, so maybe let's try design this frame here where it's like rising out of the square, and I want to do some like cracks and little bits of debris like flying off. So yeah, let's have a go at designing that. So this one's a little bit further on, so I'm gonna bring this down here. I don't know what number style frame this will be, but stick it here. Come on. Okay. So yeah, this one here is following on from this one, so I will use the same background and all that. And maybe let's bring this up here so I can look at it a little better. Yeah. Okay. So I think let's get rid of these shapes. Maybe even that one as well. Keep the ball. We kind of got the square like this, a little bit bigger. Like so. Let's have the circle in the center. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like want to make this look like it's breaking open, but I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. So maybe I'll have a go at that in After Effects. Maybe I can like mask this a bit with some like texture and stuff. Yeah, let's like add in the trail. And this will be style frame 2. Oh, I have someone watching. Hello. How's it going? And let's bring this one down here. Cool, and then let's switch up this gradient. So it's going like this. And then let's set the opacity of this one to 0. And what I'll do is I'll add another one in. Where are my color palette? Make this the dark blue as well. And maybe make it like 50. Hey, good morning. What time is it where you are? I was trying to find like a good time zone to stream so that lots of people could watch and it's not like crazy late or crazy early in the morning. Okay, yeah, I'll figure this gradient out in After Effects. I think that's how I do a lot of my stuff, is just get the basic shapes down in Illustrator and then do all the like the other stuff in After Effects, so maybe I'll just leave this like so for the meantime. Leave it like that. 8 AM Brazil, nice. That's pretty early. Well, not that early, I guess. It's 11:31 here. Okay, let's add in some of these cracks. Yeah, I think the idea for these in After Effects is just use trim paths, a really low frame rate to like bring these on. I've like done some of those before in another project, so yeah, let's just close black. I'm not getting notifications. Oh wow, the complete opposite, 8 PM. 6 PM, sorry. Cool, and maybe I'll make these a little bit wider. Maybe let's have a look at the color as well. Or if they're a darker color. Ooh, I think it makes more sense to have a darker color because the background's darker. It's like we're kind of like looking through into the background through these cracks sort of thing. Yeah, let's leave it like that for now. I'm actually going to bring up, if I can find it, the other project where I did this. I want to see what they look like. It was in this one. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember. I like tapered them off as well. We can do that in After Effects. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
They're all kind of looking the same. I want to try like get some more variation. Maybe this one down here doesn't have this little side bit. Hello, welcome to the stream. We got people slowly trickling in. I like to leave these up on my YouTube channel as well, so try to like talk through what I'm doing and then people can find them on my YouTube channel and like go back and just watch them whenever they want and see how I went about doing this.
Once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just
Lock this a minute so I don't move all this stuff around. Let's make this one come up here.
Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
Cool, that would do for the cracks for now. I can always come back to that in After Effects and change it up, and I think they'll look a lot better when they're like tapered at the end, so like that. But I'll do that in After Effects. Yeah. Cool, okay, now let's have a go at doing these little bits of debris and stuff lying around. I also wanted to try, let's try to do this first actually, to have like a star shape in the background. Yeah, as the circle is coming through. Maybe... just trying to find a good shape that I like. Maybe let's do 11 points. Yeah, let's do 11 points and then... do something like this. No, it needs to be the other way. I want the spikes to be like fairly thin. Like that. Okay, thinner. Something like that maybe. Maybe a little bit thicker. Yeah. And then try this in the background. Maybe even more points. It feels like it's missing something here. Let's try 13. Thanks, Gareth. On my road to 1 million, baby. Cool, let's see how this looks. Cool, that looks better. And then have a gradient on here as well. Maybe let's go. I feel like this needs to be like have some yellow or red in it. Ooh. Maybe add another point. Kind of looks like a bit of an explosion, like a comic book explosion. That's kind of cool. And maybe in After Effects I'll like put some texture in that or change the blender mode or something, but I don't want to leave it too bright because it's kind of like competing with the circle. But yeah, we'll leave that for now. I'll turn it off, but I'll import that into After Effects later. And then for these bits of debris, I reckon I can just like make a load of like janky looking shapes. And then use like particular in After Effects and just like emit them behind the circle so they all like burst out. Yeah, so yeah, let's like try them in the scene now. And then I'll like save all the different shapes to be imported into After Effects. Yeah, cool. Cool. And I think I want some like strokes. I can just like trim paths upwards as well, sort of thing. Yeah, and I want to like play with different colors on these as well. Maybe some can like be this darker blue. Yeah, have some different colors. Cool. Again, I will make this look good in After Effects, but this is just so I know what I'm doing. Cool, that'll do for now. That gets the idea across. And I have these like different stroke whips as well. Cool. Just thinking whether it's worth to really design any more in Illustrator, because it's all pretty straightforward. And like this like little scribbly line, there's like no point me making this in Illustrator because I'll probably use some like the scribble effect in After Effects. Give that a go. Yeah, I reckon I'll just quickly put together this scene, this one here, and then this one, and then just go into After Effects. Cool. Yeah, so where this circle is like moving up, I think I want to change the background color. So by the time we're like here, we're on like a different color, because like we're going from here, and then this has got the lighter background. So I think this would be a good way to transition the background as we're like moving upwards. Yeah. Cool. So let's get all of this. Organize my layers. And then bring this across. Gonna be frame 3. My tea's gone cold. Damn. Oh. Okay. Bring this background over as well. And it can be even bigger this time. Something like that. And in After Effects, I think I'm gonna like use like a colorama effect on this gradient here, and then like use that to animate different colors and move this gradient like upwards, sort of thing, if that makes any sense. And yeah, and like while it's moving up, we can still have like these my spacebar is being okay, here we go. Still have these like bits of debris floating upwards, sort of thing. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and at this point I kind of want to show that the background color is changing. So maybe I can start that, maybe change this top color to this. Or maybe the other way around. No, I'll figure that out in After Effects. That's gonna be my catchphrase. Okay, and then let's just make one more frame. this can be, at this point we've transitioned this background. I want to try figure out a way, like, then transition this down into a little rectangle in the center. Well, let's make a new frame down. Don't really know how I want this to like transition, but I think that's going to be another figure it out in After Effects sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I feel like I know what I'm doing, and these always change throughout, so I might just jump into After Effects and start trying to animate this like opening ball bounce, scale up these first 3 frames. And I can always come back to Illustrator and yeah, figure more things out in here. But yeah. Yeah, okay. Cool. Alright, so I got my style frames here. So I think I'm gonna make yeah, let's make some folders. Let's go scene 01 and make a comp called scene 01 as well. And what frame rate am I gonna do? Let's do like 16. And make this like 20 seconds. Cool. And then, like, so in my style frame, I'm kind of get this like chromatic aberration kind of effect going on the edges here. And, like, you can see it on these white lines. You see it's like split red and blue. So, and I'm like doing that with a channel mixer effect, and then all of these layers are just like adding to blend the colors back into what the original image looks like. Yeah, and then like depending on like what the scale is, you can like kind of get different looks. So let's make a scene 01, what if I called it here? Yeah, just call it chromatic comp. And then all the animation will go in this chromatic comp. Yeah, and then in the scene 01 comp, I will again do this like RGB split. Cool, so let's, yeah, I think I'm just gonna copy what I need from the style frame. So all I need at the moment is the circle. Let's get that in here. And I need to parent the texture to the circle, like so. And I also need this, yeah, this square here. And I also need the background. So let's get that. Cool. And I'm gonna make a like a main export comp that I can put all my scenes into. After 2023 crashed all the time with me, my renders. Yeah, I've had some weird stuff going on with my After Effects 2023. Like, if I'm importing footage, like if I scrub through it, there'd be like some points that are like got this weird green like glitch thing going on, and it like if I reload it, so like, you know, if I like click reload footage, it like gets rid of it, but then it will be like coming up on another part of the footage, and it's like, and then like if I add new layers in the scene, it will like move the glitch to another part. It's really weird. But yeah, I have like had some weird stuff going on with 2023. I still have 22 installed for that reason, but yeah, hopefully they'll like release another update and it won't be so won't be so weird. But yeah, that's always annoying, and always like I have like so many like little scripts and plugins like here, and like I use these quite a lot, especially like ease copy and flow, and like waiting for a new version. Normally it's like you can just copy it across and it should still just work, but waiting for new versions of plugins and stuff is really annoying as well. But yeah, I'd never update like straight away. But I've been meaning to for a while, because like you have like you can like label individual keyframes and stuff now. And the new like matte system is like super useful, so I wanted to upgrade. But yeah, it always comes with a few little weird bugs here and there. And I'm just gonna label these because I've got the same name here and I'm gonna get confused, so I'm just gonna like call this style frame and do that on this one as well, so I know which one I'm working in. Cool. Okay, so if I look at my storyboard, I guess the first thing, which plugins do I use for a bounce effect? There isn't really a plugin. I can show you how I like bounce stuff around on this first scene, but there isn't really a plugin that will bounce stuff for you. But I do have a script that I use. So say like I wanted to animate the circle on so on the scale, and I like alt click my scale to put in an expression, and then this is a plugin called K-bar, and you can like save shortcuts and expressions and all sorts. So if I press this button, it adds this expression, and in this expression you can control like the bounce. So let's make this water. Oh, why is that not working? Oh, expression's gone. And see, you get that like subtle like jiggle as it bounces up. That's like a little expression I use to like save some time on that, you know, if I want some like overshoot on some motion. If you're like talking about like bouncing, you know, like bouncing this up and down sort of thing, it is just pretty much just keyframing and having a good sense of like weight and timing. But yeah, okay, so start keyframing this. One thing I need to figure out is like the motion of this, where I want the ball to hit. I want this to be like quite quick to start with as well. And something I want to do as well is like have it hit the edge. Yeah, no worries. I can like I'll put this expression in chat as well, so you guys have it. You literally just like copy. Oh, I can't. It's too long. I'll put it in the description of the stream. Maybe. Can I do that? I can't. But hey, the expression I can't send it, but oh god, I've lost all my stuff now, 1 sec. But like it's here if you want to type it out. All's on here. But yeah. Yeah, so yo, Floatuts, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, so I like basically to get to my point, I want the circle to like bounce off the edges of the frame, then have some like glow on the edge of the frame, so it's like reacting to the bounces. So yeah. Send it in the chat. I can't, it's too long. I can only there's a word count limit. How else can I send it? But yeah. So yeah, let's do this. So yeah, I don't want this like Bezier handle, so I'm gonna get rid of that, like so. I'm just gonna like block out roughly where I want this to go. I should probably start off smaller, maybe like at 80. Or maybe let's do it at 90. We come in like that, bounce off of there, and then I want it to come to the center. I want it's like bouncing off this point. I want a bit of a curve. So if I hold control, I can bring this one in and then add this curve here, like so. I want to bring that into the center and have it come up like way higher. I think easiest way to do this is like at this point I like cut away from this shape and I make a new clean one where I can like scale it up and then have it bounce around inside the square. Yeah, okay, let's like figure out the easing and the timing for this. So this needs to be way, way, way quicker. Cool. And I want it to like come up, be like real slow here. So like come up fast, slow, and then fast, then coming back in. So yeah, so maybe to do that I need to like stick in another point here. Yeah, let's just figure out this first bit here first. Let's bring in this handle here, so we're not, there's like no easing coming back into this motion, it's just bouncing, pinging straight off. Yep, maybe even quicker. Yeah. And then at this point we want to bring this handle in as well. And we want this to like shoot up. And let's bring this down. Cool. So this is like kind of pausing too much up here. I still want it to like be moving. So on the speed graph, if you bring these up, it's kind of like changing the speed. So we're like still not pausing as much. We're still, you know, we're still like moving 934 pixels per second at this point. We don't get as much of a pause, but then that always like takes away from the speed coming out. So maybe if I bring this closer, yeah, that's feeling a bit better. Ooh. And yeah, this like bounce here isn't reading as well, so maybe oh, that's not what I want to do. Cool. I think like I want to like add like an echo effect on this to give it like that sense of motion. But then the texture, maybe I'm gonna need to like pre-comp this circle. Yeah, let's pre-comp this circle first. And I will be right back. 2 seconds. Cool. Okay, yeah, so yeah, what I was saying was if I'm like adding this echo effect here, It's like, let's turn this off. It's like echoing like so, right? But then the texture isn't like big enough to like cover both. So I could like just make the texture bigger, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to pre-comp the circle, and then I should be able to just add an echo effect that way. But I'm going to leave this here and now as well. Just copy this. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Get rid of these keyframes. Get the texture showing up again. What's going on here? There we go. Cool. Yeah, and I can make this way bigger and then scale it down once it's pre-comped. Let's call this main circle comp. And then let's just add these keyframes. Oh, and then scale it back down. I'll just turn this off for now. So now if I add an echo effect, it's not working either. Why is that not working? That's strange. No. Okay, maybe I won't do it like that. What happens if I add the echo effect to the texture as well? Nope. Okay, I can just make the texture bigger. I can live with that. So we get this. Yeah, that works. Okay. I'm just going to turn the texture off for now. Just focus on this circle motion. Okay. I kind of want this to come up even higher and have more of like a something like this, maybe. Yep. And then it's kind of looking good. Kind of works. Kind of like that. And I want to do some stuff with like scale as well, so maybe we start it out like much bigger so it feels like it's coming from like closer to the camera, and then we're like scaling down to what we were. That kind of feels cool. It's like got a bit of depth to it. And then at this point we could maybe be getting bigger again, scaling it up. And then we're coming back down. Maybe like we scale it down even more here. Is that in the center? Yeah. So then when it's scaling back up to the circle, it's like, it's got like more of a distance to scale back up, so it's like more impactful. It kind of feels good. Put some easing on that scale as well. Yep. And then the same sort of easing here where we're like scaling up quite quickly and then we're lingering a bit. And then, yeah. It feels like it needs to be in the air longer here. Yeah, that feels better. Cool. Okay, let's get the square in behind it as well. I've done the square smaller in my storyboard. So yeah, gonna have that smaller following behind, and we can add some like rotation. I'm gonna add some rotation to the circle as well, but I'll do that once the square is animating as well. Let's get rid of this and name these layers. Let's call this circle texture. Stuff that I don't really need to like touch much in my projects, I just like change to this non-color. So like here I know that my keyframes are going to be on this circle layer. Cool. Yeah, every time I can fiddle with this motion for days. Every time I look at it again, I'm like, oh, could change that a little bit. Maybe I bring the scale back a bit because it kind of like feels like looks weird if it's still scaling up here. I want it to like already, yeah. And ease this out this way a bit more, so yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I will get to that, but yeah, definitely like add some rotation to the texture, make it look like it's spinning and stuff. Hey guys, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Ayub? I'm probably butchering that, I'm so sorry. Ayub Boyzid. I'm so sorry, that's such a terrible pronunciation. But yeah, hey, thanks for watching. Yeah, so yeah, I will rotate this texture. But yeah, let's get the square moving behind it as well. Bring in our gradient points. Kind of thinking the circle needs to be a little bit bigger because the square feels, I want the square to be smaller, but it feels too small, maybe. Maybe if let's go bigger here, and then maybe do this at like 96. And then make sure these are still touching the edge now that I've changed the scale. It's the only thing with this, if I want to like change anything, I'm gonna have to like go back through and make sure it's all touching the edge correctly. Maybe here it comes down to like 88 and then gets a little bit bigger and then even bigger and then yeah. Cool, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna want the square to follow like, I could even like just copy and paste the same animation, but I want to like change up the path a little bit so it's not like exactly the same. Yeah. Maybe it's like starting at a different point and maybe it's touching a little bit further here. Yeah, and maybe doesn't bounce up as high as the circle. Play with these keyframes a bit as well. Maybe it does go higher than the circle. Cool, and then let's add some scale keyframes to the square as well. Okay, starting big and scaling down. Cool. Let's make sure this is again touching the edge. Cool, let's get in there. I think it'd be easier if I do the rotation now, because then, like, you know, the square isn't, if it's at this point, then I'm gonna have to move it up so it is touching the edge. So if I figure out the rotation now, do something like this. When it's like here, I want it to like feel like it's got some like hang time in the air, you know, and it's like slow-mo spinning, and then everything speeds up again, and boom, then we're coming into the center. You can't even see, don't even notice that rotation. Let's go way higher. Is that even rotating? Hello? Yeah, it should be. Oh, it's not. That needs to be 0. Okay. So as we're coming in, let's have it rotate to the left like this. So it's like, the rotation is kind of like following the motion it's going in. And then once it bounces here, we can start rotating in the other direction. So here it's now going this way. Cool, that feels a bit better. Figure out the easing on this. Gonna follow the same type of easing, so we're like coming off on this edge really quickly. And then it kind of like slows up at this point. Because it's such a low frame rate, it's kind of like, it's hard to read the rotation. But that works. Cool, let's figure out the rotation on the square. Do the same kind of thing. So we're rotating this way. And then start rotating this other direction. Did I reply for the Ravi motion design position? No, I didn't. No, I could like, yeah, I would kind of like to, but then it's like, I'm not like looking for a kind of full-time thing. Like, I would really like to work with those guys, but yeah, I quite like jumping from project to project and working with lots of different people, and yeah, like my own little thing I've got going is like pretty well for freelance. So, and they're like, it is like a contractor, right? But it's more like full-time hours. So yeah, and then it would take the freedom of like being able to take jobs from other people away. So yeah, I'm kind of like quite happy with just freelancing how I am for now. But yeah, I would like really love to work with those guys. They're like crazy good. It's really cool. And like they're so young as well. Like, what are they, like 20, 21? It's mental what they're doing at that age. What about you? Have you applied? Cool. Get some ease in on this square rotation. Starting to come together ish. I feel like it's spinning too much here, the square, so let's bring that down a bit. Nice, yeah, good luck. Was that for the like motion design, not the intern, but like motion designer role? Do you have to record a video as well for that? A little video of yourself. I feel like I'm terrible on camera, speaking to a camera, even though I'm doing that now. Let's bring that down even more. That's kind of getting there. That's feeling kind of good. Not a value graph guy. No, I've tried it, but I'm just so used to the speed graph now, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I've just got used to the speed graph. Yeah. What about you? Are you value graph guy? I think it's funny, it's like a funny little, I always see stuff like that on Twitter, like there's a divide between motion designers. Yeah, I use value graph for one particular motion, which is like, it's hard to explain now, but I do use it for some specific things. But yeah, always been using speed graph. It's just easier for me. Okay, cool. Now, when we're like sort of hitting the edge, all right, let's sort this square out because you're not touching the edges. There you go. Yeah, this is hard. I want to leave enough space between the two shapes so they're not overlapping, but it's like Maybe something like that feels a bit better. Yeah, and then maybe bring this in so they're sort of ending roughly at the same time. That feels better. Yeah, so on this like impact, I want to do like the glows on the edges, but I also want to try like move this texture. So it's like there's a little shake every time we hit the edge. So I'm gonna try that out, see how that looks. I'm not really sure the best way to do this. Maybe if I do an expression, is that gonna be easier? Yeah, let's just do it with like a wiggle expression, might be easier. Yeah, so here I'm like writing out my wiggle expression, and then I'm gonna parent pick whip to this slider at this point. So this is the amplitude of my wiggle. And now whatever I set this to is changing how much this texture is moving. So then on the points we hit the edge, I can like set this to like say 60 and then turn it off again. So we get something like that going on. Maybe a little bit more subtle though. So maybe like lower number. Maybe even lower. And maybe go less on the frequency. And maybe there's like a way to, maybe it could be cool to like play with this levels effect. Maybe we could do that at the start, like start it out like this. And then boom, we got more of the texture coming through. Or maybe we do that. Do that here. But less. It's cool. I kind of like the texture coming in as well at the start though, so if I do this, 2 secs. Okay, let's just leave that. Got that little subtle like shake. Kind of looks cool. And this is something I do a lot in my animations, is do like little flashes of color. So maybe when we are hitting the edge here, we change up these colors slightly. Maybe do this. Just do it quite subtly. It's too much. What about rotating the texture? That could be cool. And I want to like posterize, change the frame rate of just this rotation. So do this and is this the expression for that? Nope. How do I do that again? I know a cheat way. Let's just do it up. Oh, actually, it's like this, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe we start zoomed in a bit more on the texture as well, since the circles are starting scaled up. I'm just having a little play around, seeing what works. Kind of cool. I'll make this a low frame rate as well. Do a different one, a higher frame rate than the rotation, but still low. Yep, that's kind of cool. I also still want to do something with the levels where it's like changing it like this in some way, but that's like something to figure out later on. So I want to add some like squashing squash and stretch to the circle, and get the echo effect going on there as well. So maybe let's have a go at doing that now. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to like add squash and stretch to this circle because it's now like rotating. So like, and it's got scale keyframes on it. So like if I wanted to like have it like this, it's just like not gonna work. So the way I normally do this is add a transform effect. Let's just figure out how to make it squash at this point. So what I normally have to do, take the anchor point here and then copy the anchor point numbers down into the position. So now our anchor point is here, and then if I turn off uniform scale, I can like do this. So then we got this like squash thing going on. And we can keyframe that. So give that a go. The only thing is it doesn't affect the texture as well. But if I copy I'll figure that out after. Let's just squash the circle. So I want to try like keep it looking kind of realistic. So if I'm squashing it down by 40, then I want to add 40 to the width. This is like a general rule. So it's still like keeping the same amount of the circle. We're not like making it smaller. It feels more like it is squashing. That's probably too much. So let's try those values. And at this point, yeah, that feels kind of nice. It's like very subtle, but like you feel it. You feel it more than you see it. Let's try to get the echo effect going on as well. I got a feeling I'm gonna have to like scale this texture by hand along with the circle to make sure it keeps in with the echo. I can come down here. That might look a bit weird, but no, that's feeling all right. Cool, and I want to do the same here. This is probably like such an awkward way of like doing squash and stretch, but yeah, but now what I do is I just add another transform to this edge now at this point. Again, copy these values, and then I can do the same thing here. So let's name these like so. Cool, so let's set some keyframes here. And we can do the same again. Nice. It's looking good. Let's do the same thing for the square as well. Let's try some echo on the square. Maybe make it a bit more subtle than the circle is. Yeah, so let's set this to a really small number. That's the wrong way. We need to put a minus up here. And that's going to have to be even smaller. And up here. If it's down here in the effect stack, it's like echoing the shadow. So I need to put it above. And then maybe, yeah, now that still needs to be a smaller number. And this can be something like this. Yeah, and then let's like keyframe this down as well. Okay. Yep, okay, so squash and stretch. On here, let's add a transform effect. And name this. Copy these down. And then set some keyframes. Cool. And then do the same here. Put a new transform effect on. Wash. O2. That's like a little bit too much, so I'm gonna make this one a little bit more subtle. Cool. Okay. That opening motion is kind of almost there. I want to try adding these glows at the edge now. So let's have a go at that. I think I want them just try like do a little shape down here like this. I think I want it to be this like reddy color. Blur it out a bit. Maybe bring this up. Call this edge glow. Change the layer color. Do a dark green. Let's do 2 separate blurs so I can like control the horizontal and vertical. And then let's add deep glow. Cool, and then bring these path points in a bit. And then have these animate on as we touch the edges. Okay, and maybe this can like really be flickering as well. We won't be able to see it much. Like it doesn't stay on screen long enough to us to really be able to do much of it, but I'm gonna add a transform effect and I only want the opacity. I'm just gonna call this flicker. We can use this to like flicker it a bit. So I'm gonna add a wiggle expression. Do something like that. Yeah, it's not on enough. Not on long enough to like really notice. And maybe if we like add another one, move it up, increase the blur. And then make the opacity like way less. And let's change this so it's only flickering a bit, and maybe I should turn this one down as well. And then it's kind of like gives us, makes it like more readable because now it's like kind of glowing up the circle as well. Yeah, and let's label these foreground. Call it 01. And this one's background. And I'm gonna link the paths of these shapes so I can just edit one of them and not have to touch the other. I'll just like pick whip that down. So now if I want to edit this shape, it does it for both of them, or at least it should do. Yeah. And let's do that even more. Cool. Maybe this is like even bigger, even more blur. Okay. Looking good. And let's parent this foreground one to the background and copy both of them. Call this 02. Maybe I want some more glow. Okay, and then I can just rotate this 90 degrees and up here. Cool. I'm going to come back to the background now. I still want to do something with the levels on the background. Yeah, let's duplicate this, and then instead of animating the histogram, I'm just gonna press E to bring up my effects, and then come down to the compositing options and just animate the opacity of the effect instead. So then maybe we're like starting off with less of the texture. And then bringing that to 0. And maybe that happens as the circle is coming in. And again, I'm gonna posterize time the opacity to 8. Oh yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Maybe it takes even longer to come on, and we start with even less texture. Cool. Bring all this along here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Looking good. And maybe like one more thing I can do here is add some changes in color on the shapes, so it like sells the impact even more. And that could either be in here. This is how I'm like coloring this texture. Or I could just add like an exposure effect and something like this where I'm like changing the brightness. Let's try the colors first. Yeah. So maybe we could swap them. I don't even know if I can keyframe that, can I? Yeah, that is changing it. Let's try that. No, it's not noticeable enough. I do this. Sam Fry, hey, this is looking great, Callum. First time catching the live stream, although long time Insta follower. I'm finding it really insightful, especially with your thought process. Ah, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of like the goal, just to like record the process, talk about it as I go, and then leave them up on YouTube for anyone who wants to like go back and sort of learn how this stuff is done. Yeah, and this is going to be another one of my I like do a little series called Flexing Those Keyframes. Which I'm sure you've seen if you've been following me. But yeah, it's like these little things here where I just like do a short little looping animation. Although these are like not getting very short anymore. I'm like, my ideas are dragging on too long, so I'm trying to keep this one short and snappy, the one I'm doing now. But yeah, just a way for me to like experiment and have some fun. But yeah, I'm glad you're finding it useful. Yeah, so I think I'm going to change the yellow color on this. I feel like changing the that isn't noticeable. Changing the red isn't noticeable enough. Yeah. Maybe like that. Or like that. Or with the white kind of sells it the most. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like want to make it blue, like it's like absorbing the color in the background. I don't know. White or blue? What do we think? I'm gonna leave it at white for now. And then here, I don't want to like make it flicker, like it's like bracing for the impact. White, yeah, I quite like white. Yeah, so at this point, I think I'm gonna add like an exposure effect. Where am I? How can I make this like flicker? I feel like I need to do it with color instead of exposure, because the exposure is just like kind of not adding the overall flicker. It's kind of like changing where the texture is. If that makes sense. Maybe if I add another tint, then I can use the like amount to tint. Now let's do it with it. Let's do it with exposure. Yeah, so how can I do this? I think I'm going to do a similar setup earlier where I add a slider, call this wiggle control, add a wiggle expression to the exposure, and then set the frequency number to like 14, and then pick whip it to this slider. So then I can, is that not working? I need a comma here. Yeah, then I can like keyframe the amount that it's flickering, and I want that to like start flickering, flicker loads, and then boom, and then maybe the background can like change color, and we get this like big impact as we're like transitioning to this frame. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Let's go from like 0 to 124. Oh no, that's way, yeah, that's way too much. Let's do 2. Maybe we start it a little bit sooner as well. You can see here, that's what I want to be seeing. Maybe. Just a case of playing with the keyframes until get what I'm looking for. Maybe we need to do it even more. Maybe we like add a glow as well. Will that work? No. Yeah, it's kind of awkward adding a glow because it's only glowing the texture which is being masked inside this circle shape, so it's not like, yeah, not working in the way I want it to. It's annoying because when it stops you can like see it doing what I want it to do, but it's kind of like hard to read while it's moving. Maybe let's like try some different seeds of the wiggle. So like do a seed random. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, it's kind of like subtly like showing something is gonna happen. It's like building up to something happening here. Cool. And now let's go back to the square. Every time I look at it, I'm always like, ah, that's not looking quite right. Okay, cool. Getting there. I think I'm like coming to the end of the stream now for what I want to do on this first part. So maybe let's cut these layers here. And then to do this bit where I'm kind of like spinning this square while it's bouncing around inside, I think I need to like do the bounce, the circle bouncing inside a pre-comp. I've opened Photoshop, go away. Yeah, like do this in a pre-comp and then just spin the pre-comp. So I'm gonna like cut away, and maybe one thing I want to do as well is add an exposure effect here. Cool. Yeah, I can figure that out later, but I just like want to do like a burst of like maybe shapes and glows and stuff as this is scaling up. So I like glow the background like that. Cool, and then make a new pre-comp. Call it what am I calling it? Just call it square and circle bounce comp. And then in here, we can then scale the square up again. So I'm just gonna come back and steal this square from here. And let's just add some scale keyframes. Like so. And then yeah, basically I can have the animation of the circle bouncing around in here. And then out here in this comp, I can like rotate it around. Yeah, and that needs to be a little bit quicker. And maybe we can match this on the background as well. So maybe the background here comes a little bit smaller to like 40. And then can scale back up with the square. Okay, I've just noticed these edges are like being cut off here, so I'm just going to add a motion tile effect. You put this further up and then just extend this out so that fills in like that. That's good. Let's play this back. Cool. You can like still see the square here and this shape is meant like we don't want to see that there, so maybe if I put this above, helps with that transition. But yeah, that is feeling good so far. I'm liking that. The background is like, yeah, it's like really adding another sense of motion. Feels good. Feels like it's reacting to shapes coming in really nicely. Cool, okay. That's good progress. I think I'm gonna leave it here for today. I kind of do what I did last time with these live streams, where I just like do them in parts over a couple of weeks. So like on here, I've like, this was another project I did, and I just, you know, streamed every time I was working on it until it's finished. and then just leave them up on my YouTube channel. So I think I'm going to do the same thing for this. Yeah, and I'll carry on from this point next time as well. So yeah, thanks for watching so far, and I will be back doing this at some point next week, maybe next Thursday. I'll post something on my Instagram. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.